Right, so in today's session, I'll cover like why are we going to do accountability everyday daily accountability practice. You should be doing it with your accountability partner. So in today's session, I'll go through like why do we do this, why do we do this, how we do this, and some recommendations. Okay, so first things first. This is coming from me, a person who, if in 2022 you told me what what is stopping me from reaching the next level, what is keeping me at this stage, at this level. So some context, at 2020 I was making like okay money. It's 2000, about $2,000 a month plus minus. But back in those days I have anywhere from 4 to 8 clients. Peak is 8, but most of the time it's 6 accounts, 5 accounts. So I was working 7 days a week, and I was working more than 12 hours a day. Okay, so of course that is very, very unhealthy. So back then, what I was asking myself is, hey, how can I learn a thing, how to work better, how to be better at creating Facebook ads, Google ads. Actually, that time I was doing, I don't think I was doing Facebook anymore. So that time I was doing Google ads for people, creating landing pages. That's the main two things that I was doing. So I keep attending training, watching YouTube videos about how to create YouTube ads. Sorry, how to create better Google ads, how to have a better sales page, all the how to stuff. Okay, I never pay attention to anything on the mindset. Okay, so all of this started to change when I uh, started learning and joining Copy Academy. Uh, sorry, actually, it started when I attended Smart Challenge. To be honest, now that I think back, towards the end of 2020, I started joining Smart Challenge. So in 2021, um, I'm I bought a few courses from Denlock, and that is where Denlock is mostly about mindset. There is a bit of how to, but I think what makes him special is the mindset stuff. So it changed my perspective from somebody who totally don't believe about mindset to somebody who now most of the time emphasize on this. Do I cover like how to do the stuff? Do I cover like marketing strategy, Google ads and those? Yeah, I still talk about it with clients. I still talk about it when I'm helping people, but it's not the main focus. Now I realize the main thing that holds most business owners, the thing that holds most freelancers back is not the how to, I don't know how to do this. I don't know this technical thing, this technology thing. Most of the time it's the mindset. All right. So back then, if you told me things like it's your mindset problem, you need to have positive thinking, personal development niche is very, very important. We need to seek clarity and we need to improve communication. Back then, if you tell me any of this, immediately what comes to my mind is this is a scam. Because these are things that doesn't make sense to me at that time anyway. It doesn't make sense to me. And my belief that back then, anybody who bring up all of this are people who can't do technical work, so they use all of this mindset, positive thinking, rainbows, all this type of bullshit to hide the fact that they don't know technical work. So that was what I told myself back then. I say these people, these consultants, all these coaches, not consultants, most of the time it's coaches. These coaches don't have any technical skill, don't have any marketing strategy. Come here and tell me this woo woo foo foo shit. Waste of my time. I come here for 5 days training, 3 days life challenges. You keep telling me all this mindset stuff. When are they going to start to tell me about marketing? When are they going to tell me what our headline to use, or what is the marketing strategy and stuff like that? I realized back then it was the thing that I thought was not important. It's actually the thing that was holding me back. Okay, so this is not coming from somebody who has been doing mindset coaching for 10 years, 20 years. Okay, it's from a person who is very, very skeptical. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from. So if today you tell me in 2022, all of this, I'll say, back then I say it's a scam. It's for people who talk about this are people who don't know what they are doing. So they have to use all of this stuff. But now, if you ask me, I'll say this is the reason why we are stuck. why we are not effective. It's because of all of this. Now, allow me to share one exercise. So this exercise, actually, I got a lot of benefit out of it. Okay, so this is once I joined Danlog's high ticket closing 3.0 in 2021. Second half of 2021. I forgot, was it third or fourth quarter? Okay, honestly, I can't remember. But it's definitely the second half. It's towards the end of the year. So I started joining it. Then every student will be doing accountability sessions. So I had multiple accountability partners. Multiple. So each accountability partner for HTC was a few weeks, then we will rotate. There will be a new accountability, like a partner calendar, like a timetable, like a schedule, okay? So we will be doing that as well. So we'll be rotating partners around. Now, why are we rotating the partners? So you get to learn how to communicate with different people, okay? So this coaching program is mainly how are we going to communicate what we are doing, how are we going to ask very good questions, and how do we get clear on stuff. So I find that this exercise, daily exercise, is able to help in all of this. Okay, so every day the daily accountability. So here are some rules. Originally the rules, we're going to spend no more than 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes, we'll be asking our partner 5 questions. Okay, so the first question is, what are we grateful for today? Okay, how about this? The first question is, let's say if I'm doing accountability partner with you, then I'll be asking you, what are you grateful for today? Now, once you do this often enough, let's say both of you already do this often enough, you do not need to ask your accountability partner. They will be able to tell you without looking at the slide or any paper. Okay, so this is something you practice makes perfect, practice makes permanent. So you can only form a habit when you make something permanent, you decide to make something permanent. And nowadays, when I don't do this, actually I feel something is wrong. It's just like somebody who jogs 30 minutes a day. If one day they do not go for a walk, they feel something is wrong. Okay, just like chess players, one day they don't play chess, something is off. Okay, but nobody say about playing 5 hours like me today. All right, so what is the thing that you're grateful today? That's the first question. The second question is, we'll be asking, what is the biggest victory we have? What is the biggest accomplishment? Okay, I'll come back to this later. Number 3 is, what is the challenge that I'm facing today? Okay, what is the challenge that you're facing today? What is the problem that you're facing today? I'll give an example so everybody will be able to visualize. So what is the intention to overcome this challenge? There's a problem I want to solve. Now, how do I plan to solve this? And what is the question you would like to ask the universe? Okay, I hope there's no typo here. I didn't like triple check. I just double check everything. Okay, so I'll just do a example so everybody can see what are the type of questions I'll be asking. So what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful because currently there is no war going on in my country. Okay, why am I saying this is because at the time I'm doing this video, there's a lot of global tensions, like a lot of, there are some military exercise. I am a bit concerned there will be war breakout and there'll be a new war. The previous one was Russia and Ukraine, so now it's these things. Actually, I can't use the word annoyed. I'm legit worried. Okay, because these things tend to make me think about a lot of bad things that can happen. Okay, so I'm very grateful. Today, I get to enjoy peace. This is something that I think most of us take for granted. Okay, so I'm very grateful for that. What is the biggest victory in the past 24 hours? In the past 24 hours, I was able to overcome my chess addiction. I was playing chess online like 3 to 5 hours a day for the past 2 days. But yesterday, I'm so happy. I just played one game on my mobile phone. One game, it's definitely less than 10 minutes because it's a 5-minute game. So yes, that is the biggest victory. I'm able to overcome my chess addiction, and by overcoming my chess addiction, I'm able to spend the time on actual work. So today, not only I prepared this training, I also created a new landing page. I also created a new thank you page for my own business. Okay, so once, well, what do you know? If you stop playing games for 5 hours a day, you actually can get work done. What a new discovery. All right. So that's the biggest victory. What's the challenge I'm facing today? So at the time I'm doing this, it's already at night, it's 9 p.m. So I'll just pretend that I'm doing this in the morning or early afternoon. So the biggest challenge I'm facing today is I am a bit concerned, like I was thinking like how can I have some structure in place so everybody can do this accountability session. It's either for those who are VIP, they'll be doing it with another student. For those who are at different levels, they can at least watch this video and able to write their accountability script, share their accountability message in the Slack channel. Okay, so that is the challenge I'm facing, and this is how I plan to solve this challenge: is to get very, very clear on all of this, share like why are we doing this, how are we going to do this, and give like very, very clear as I can, the instructions. Okay, so the question I like to ask the universe is how can I help everybody be more consistent in their work, okay, in their freelancing business. Because I realize the people that I'm working with, the students that we have, they don't necessarily have like I can't. It's not necessarily they are not good at doing the work. It's just they find it they struggle to be consistent. So every day there will be some distraction, and once there's a distraction, they get very, very affected. So I like to ask the universe. Why I'm asking this is currently I do not have a solution for this. Okay, so that's my sharing. Okay, so the whole thing was pretty short. Okay, what I just shared. Now I'm going to break down why are we doing each of this. So this it's my own what I feel it works for, what I got out of it. Okay, and this is like why I really recommend everybody treat this exercise seriously. So why are we doing the grateful? Why are we starting with grateful? Now, when you are, it's very important to have this gratitude mindset. Few reasons. Number one, we do not want to take things for granted. Being the ability to be grateful for things and not take things for granted, you will value things more. For example, let's say currently you are very, very healthy. You do not have any health challenges. It's not like you need something to breathe all the time, like oxygen. That's something to be grateful for. You have a healthy body that allows you to do your work. There's something to be grateful for. If there's no war, it's a very peaceful place. You're living in a peaceful country with no wars. That's something to be grateful for. Like today, I'm also very grateful because today, I think my neighbors went on a vacation. So a few days ago, they were a little annoying me. They were a little annoying, the noise. But yesterday and today, they made no noise. So I'm like, okay. Now, previously, I treat the peace and quiet as, yeah, I should have that every day. But now, because it was taken away from me, now I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm very, very fortunate person. So I need to be more grateful of this kind of stuff. Okay, let's say you get some support from your family, but they're not 100% backing your freelance career. So let's say your parents is like, yeah, we support you. You know, this kind. It's like they say it, but you can feel it's not 100% there. So we have to be grateful. It's like, hey, you know, at least they are not openly objecting every day. They are not daily trying to talk me out of doing this. Okay, given my current achievement, this level of support, I'm getting more than what I expected. I'm already very happy. So instead of thinking, oh my God, why my family don't understand why am I doing this? I'm actually doing this for them. I'm trying to increase my income. I'm trying to provide them a better life. Wow, that's so ungrateful. Is it when I have these conversations, even though I'm role playing, it actually puts me in a very depressed situation. So the same thing happens. How can I learn to be grateful for it? How can I reframe it? Right. So that's the gratitude exercise. Another thing which I found out was human brain, human psychology. We can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So when I was reading like some of the news, okay, actually I didn't follow the news. It's just my hobbies is about computers, and Taiwan is a export hub. It's all about the semiconductor of the world is mostly done from Taiwan. So I got this news. Okay, it's not like I actively seek out negative news. Okay, it was like I found out there's some tensions, there's some military deals. So like, okay, is that really happening? So I do a quick Google search, and yeah, it is actually happening. It's not fake news. Okay, so once I found out like this is the bad things that's happening, I was a bit fearful. So what I did was I immediately recognized I'm a bit fearful. I was in a fearful state, so I wanted to change my state of mind. So I started to do a gratitude exercise. I'm like, okay, I'm very grateful. I've been enjoying peace throughout my whole life for 36 years. I have never experienced war. So this is a blessing that I have to recognize. Okay, I'm grateful I'm given the space to go and do my business, to go and learn how to help other people. I'm very grateful because I get to do what I'm very passionate about. I'm getting to build my dream business. So this was something I wanted to build for many, many years, more than 10 years ago. But today I'm actually able to do it. So this, once I start to say stuff like this, now my fear was drastically reduced. Okay, so this is number one, why we do question number one. Question number two. Okay, so you realize that here we are sharing what is the challenge we are facing today and how we plan to overcome it. So today, let's say Monday, we share this with our partner. Tuesday, we're going to share what was the progress. Yesterday, I said I wanted to do this. Yesterday, I was facing this problem, and this is my problem. This is my intention. This is what I plan to solve. So you come back, and next day you will share with your partner. Okay, yesterday I was facing this. Today, this is the progress I made. It doesn't matter if the problem is not completely solved. If it's an important problem, chances are it's not going to be solved in one day. If it's a big problem you have for years, you're not going to solve it over one day. If you can, then okay, thank you very much. This is why you attend my training. But and I'll claim credit for that. But jokes aside, if you have a problem for a few years, chances are it's not going to be overcome in a few days, maybe a few weeks or few months. Okay, so recognize, why are we doing this? We want to recognize progress. Now, why do we want to recognize progress? Once again, our brain, if we do not celebrate victories, if we do not reinforce the positive feelings, if we keep like pushing ourselves, like we want to overcome, we want to get out of our comfort zone, we do not feel safe. Now, when we do not feel safe psychologically, we will start to have a lot of weird questions. We start to question, are we doing it correctly and stuff like that. So celebrating victories is really, everybody is under celebrating. Almost everybody is under celebrating the victories. So if you do not recognize your own accomplishments, if you do not have somebody to celebrate all the victories with, no matter how big or small, it's very hard to be consistent. So I realized the high-performing sales team, every day they'll have daily huddle. They'll celebrate the wins yesterday. So yesterday somebody closed this deals, this amount of deals. Yesterday somebody made this amount of outreach, this amount of phone calls. In sometimes it doesn't have to be selling, it can be customer service. Yesterday this person A helped our customer, our clients to solve XYZ problems. All of this recognition, all of this, okay, it is important to build our success. It is how we can help to be more consistent. Okay, and this is why we celebrate our victories daily. It doesn't mean if you didn't close the deal, it is nothing. There's nothing to celebrate. If you were on a closing call, you realize there was something that you don't know how to handle. You didn't know how to execute that part well. You don't know how to handle a specific objection. That is something worth celebrating. Okay, today I know what is holding me back. Can identify this. So let's say there's 10 things to cover in a presentation, or let's say you're on a closing call, there were 3 steps. Step 1 was good, step 2 was good, step 3 there was a mistake and you lost the sale. No problem. Celebrate step 1 and step 2 was done well. So this is how you want to be able to recognize your progress. Okay. If it's something that involves 7 steps, if there is one step that it's not done so well, at least learn how to celebrate. Okay, the other 6 things, I know I'm okay with it. Okay, so I'm going to focus my learning on specific one very specific step. Okay, so recognize progress. A challenge. Why are we sharing our challenge with other people? Most of the time, maybe not most of the time, but a lot, very, very often. I can't say for everybody, but at least this is for me. Very frequent, I realized that I was thinking about a specific problem, but when I discuss it with other people, when I do brainstorm, I was like, to think about it, it's not that big of a problem. Okay, so have you had that situation before where you were thinking about this very, very big problem, and then you share it somewhere else, like, yeah, that doesn't seems to be a very big problem. And sometimes, while we are sharing it, we ourselves recognize that actually it's not that bad. Okay, so number one, it's permission to be vulnerable. This is something like I find a lot of people we self-sabotage. So what do I mean by self-sabotage? Somehow we tell ourselves our clients want us to be this perfect freelancer who doesn't make any mistakes, who will get a very, very good result. Everything will be delivered on time, no errors and everything. So if we keep holding ourselves to like that perfect image, that is actually a self-sabotage. Because if you're doing something that is new, if you are still learning along the way, unless you can do this blindfolded, there will probably be some areas of improvement. Okay, so unless you are being able to do it in your sleep, there'll always be challenges. Some places where you are not 100% clear about it. And this is why we have to give ourselves the permission to make error, because that's the only way we will be able to improve ourselves. Learning to identify and correct the mistakes. Okay, so the challenge that I'm facing is you say that, you give yourself permission to be vulnerable, and if you are coaching other people, here is where you can help your clients. Can just say, yeah, understand you are saying you have this challenge. So I will say there will be a very, very short way to address this. So you do not need to have very, very specific knowledge. And I would prefer you don't have specific knowledge, else the call will be going on for a long time. And that's what we want to avoid. So here, what we want to do this, we want to help to identify the real problem. Sometimes when we voice out the problem with other people, we share our problems with other people, we start to realize this is not the real problem that we should be solving. Sometimes we realize it's actually not that big of a deal, the problem. It's annoying, it's a little bit annoying. Now, here's an example, a mental image that I can help you to use. This cup, okay? So how big of this cup is going to appear on screen is depending on how close it is to the camera. So our problems, sometimes when we hold it in our head, we do not share with anybody. We do not even write our problems down on a piece of paper or type it on a screen. What we are doing is we are holding the problem very close to our eyes. Now you can't even see me. You can only see this lemon tea. Okay? So if we do not share our problems, we are actually, this is what we are doing. We are holding the problems so close to our eyes, we can't see everything else. It's like, and sometimes when you share, after you share, you don't feel the problem is very big. It means what? It means it's actually not a big problem, but you have been putting it directly in front of your eyes. It feels very big. Okay? So sometimes it's a bit annoying, but it's not the real problem. So we want to really identify, is this the real thing? Solve one problem a day. So if you're going to solve one problem a day, you have to spend a lot of time to ask, is this the real thing that needs to be done? Is this the real problem that needs to be solved? Okay, so here we set a daily goal to report tomorrow. What is the intention? So just say like, currently let's say I'll just tie it to my work. I'm not sure like what ad to create for my new campaign. So my intention is today I'm just going to study the competitors. I'm going to study similar ads and get clearer on what is the angle I'm going to use or what image I'm going to use. Okay, so just briefly, you don't need to tell, oh, today I'm going to do this, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. This accountability session is not a lecture on how to do X, Y, Z. Okay, so just inform like, hey, I'm gonna do this. So in some cases you can say, it's actually this thing cannot be done in one day, but at least by tomorrow when we meet, I'll be doing step 1, 2, and 3. I'll be doing step 1. So tomorrow I should be able to report to you step 1 is done. And actually I encourage you guys to be able to break down your tasks and communicate this with your client. Okay, because sometimes they don't know actually there's a lot of steps involved. So this is some kind of like a practice, right? And finally, why do we ask this? This sounds a bit dumb. And initially when I heard this, I was like, why are we going to ask a question to the universe? This is not logical. It doesn't make any sense. After doing it for some time, I realized there is wisdom in this. And actually, it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make some sense. It makes a lot of sense. Because I was hearing accountability sharings from my partners. Some of them, they gave very, very good questions. So I was able to find a pattern. I was able to recognize a pattern. So I found out those who are performing very, very well, the top performers, all of them are able to ask very, very good questions. Okay, and in fact, all the high performers, they treat this accountability session very, very seriously. It's not like they just come here and simply say, oh, today my challenge today is this. Tomorrow you jump on the call, same challenge. The next day you jump on the call, same challenge. The question I like to ask the universe is, how do I know what I want to do? The next day. The question I like to ask the universe is, how do I know what I want to do? The third day. The question I like to ask the universe is, how do I know what I want to do? Then you know something is wrong. Okay? If you're repeating the same question 2 days, okay. But you shouldn't be repeating all the questions for like 3 days. Then something is wrong. Then you're like, okay, we have to talk a little. If I see that in Slack, then I will automatically send you a message. It's like, hey, the question you have been asking the universe has been the same for 3 or 4 days straight in a row. What's going on? Or you have been stuck on this challenge for 3 days in a row. What is going on? Okay. So that also allows me to assist you with this. Okay. And here are some recommendations. So what I like to do here, okay. Yes, you can be grateful for your health. You can be grateful for, I get to use a very fast computer. I get to buy a new laptop every month. I get to use the latest equipment. You can do all of this. It's fine. But it's even better if you can find something that annoys you, something that makes you in a negative state of mind, and you try to reframe it. I'll just give an example. So previously my neighbors was a bit annoying me, but they were annoying me. So why are they annoying me? They are very, very noisy. So their noise period is at the night time until I think midnight 1 or 2 a.m. After 2 a.m. I don't know what's going on because I already fall asleep. So usually they are noisy at that time, and I get very annoyed by that. Okay, so what happened like 2 days ago was I bought some soundproofing materials and I tried to like do something to reduce the noise. So I did that during the early afternoon. I look at my clock. I look at the time. It was like, hey, it's only 3 p.m. Usually the noise it comes at night. So I'm like, I can't wait for it to be nighttime. I can't wait for the noise to happen so I can see if my soundproofing works. So what has changed? The neighbor didn't change. The noise didn't change. But how I look at the situation changed. So how can I look at the bad situation differently? So this is a very, very powerful exercise. Instead of looking at things that you have no control over and just be so annoyed about it, like, what can I do about this? If you can, change the environment. If you can't change the environment, at least change the way you look at it. Okay? Because we human beings, we have quite frankly, we don't have full control over everything in our lives. There are external factors and there are internal factors. External factors, at least learn how to look it from a different point of view. If it's internal factors, okay, then do something about it. Okay. So second is a biggest victory. Now, very, very often, especially for those who are new to this accountability session, you will struggle to find something to celebrate. What is that to celebrate? I did nothing yesterday. Now, if your partner says that, then just can quickly, okay, maybe you can share with me what you did yesterday. Then you help them to find something to celebrate. Okay. Now, if they do not have this problem, then help them to track their intention. Like, yesterday you said you are facing this challenge. How's the progress? Oh, okay. It's not fully solved, but what is the progress? So we ask, what is the progress? I didn't ask, did you solve the problem? I didn't ask for 1 and 0. I asked, what is the progress being made? I focus a lot about progress being made. Okay, you don't need to get it right. You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to get it started. Just need to get it going. When it's going, there'll be progress. Okay. Also, here is there's a carrot and a stick. All right. In marketing copywriting, we have carrot and we have stick. So most of us don't want to be so embarrassed. Like, yeah, yesterday I did nothing. This is especially important if we are not employees, because in a company, there will be a boss to keep us accountable, to make sure we do the work. That's why when we are working as employee, chances are there will be micromanagement. But we as a freelancer, you are your own boss, means you have to keep yourself accountable. Okay, so be your own boss. Now, this is in my 20s. I thought, oh, be my own boss. Oh, sounds so good. I get to be the big boss. Little did I know when they are saying be your own, you get to be your own boss, is actually you have to learn how to keep yourself accountable. And that for a lot of people is a challenge. So no worries if you have challenge to keep yourself accountable. Here, we will keep another person accountable on a daily basis. So why now what is actually, there's a secret behind this. Human beings, we are more willing to help other people. We will do more for others than we will do for ourselves. There are some things you won't do for yourself, but you will do for other people. Especially if it's friends and family, then of course you will try even harder. But even for a total stranger, sometimes you will be surprised, like, I won't even do this for myself, but I'm doing it for a total stranger. So human beings, we have this in ourselves. So we're going to take advantage of it. Okay, so help the other person. So how you can help your partner is to show up every day on time, do the exercise, keep it within time. That alone, you have no idea how much you're helping the other person. After 1 week, after 2 weeks, you can see the progress being made. You can even like do a quick summary between your partners, like, okay, like for this week, what is the progress? Oh, actually we made a lot of progress. Okay, and back then I remember when I was doing it with my accountability partner, the good ones, every Monday we will the accountability session. Oh, by the way, actually I should have a slide writing this. Okay, so when to do this. Okay. I always assume everybody knows this. Okay, and this is why we always under communicate. Accountability sessions. Okay, it's for do this during the weekdays. Keyword weekdays. Okay. Now, why is it just weekdays? It's because the reason why we are freelancers is not because so that we can work 7 days a week. Most of us, when we start our business, we tell ourselves why we're starting this business, because we want. Why are we starting this business? Is because we want some freedom. We want more control of our lives. So, doing accountability session, working 7 days a week, that seems to be counter into count. That's not the original intention. Okay, so have weekends for yourself. You do not need to be interrupted. Okay, if you don't want to be. So this is just for weekdays, Monday to Friday. So on Monday to Friday, for in the past, my good accountability partners, Monday they'll be like summarizing what is the progress made last week. Okay, so I find those like very, 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 very useful. Okay, so what is the challenge you're facing today? I would suggest help your partner seek clarity. So if they say, I have XYZ challenge, now if what they're trying to do is something you already solved in the past or you did in the past, it'll be easier for you to help. If you can't, don't worry about it. Okay, but this is what I will usually do. I'll try to, if my accountability partner is asking a question where I feel I don't think this is a question that needs to be solved, then I'll ask this question, like, why is this a problem? And is this a symptom instead of the root cause of the problem? Okay, you have no clue, like, how often do I do this during my consultation calls with clients? I'll just ask this question and I'll just keep quiet. Okay, what am I doing is, the problem is too near to them. I'm simply taking the cup, put it in some distance, and we look at it objectively. Is this the thing we should be addressing? Is this the main thing? So I'll ask, like, why is this a problem? Then they'll describe. Or if this is not fixed, this is a problem, this is a problem, this will result. Okay. Then if I'm doing coaching and consultation, I'll ask follow-up questions. But accountability sessions, we do not. We just ask, like, why is this a problem? And is this a symptom or is it the root cause of the problem? Okay. And just keep quiet and let your partner just answer. Okay. So what to not do? Please do not give solutions. Okay, else your call will be 1 or 2 hours. Please refrain from giving solutions. It's an accountability call. It's not a coaching call. It's not a consultation call. Please, 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 please. Okay? The goal is to be more effective every day. Means this is going to be maximum 10 minutes. If you need more than 10 minutes, chances are you're giving solutions. Okay, you're giving too much solutions during the call. Okay, so I find myself doing this a lot when I'm coaching other people. Back then, when I was just an accountability partner, I actually rarely exceed 10 minutes. Usually, the average time is 7 minutes. In some cases, if let's say both person are red, is the red personality type, the call be ended in 5 minutes. I'll say mine, you say yours. Okay, that's it. Bye bye. I'll say yours. I'll summarize what I heard. You say yours. You summarize what I heard. What you heard, and that's it. 7 minutes. Done. If it's a bit longer, sometimes I'm not very sure what they are saying, trying to communicate. Then I'll ask for clarification. Then it'll be a bit longer. But most of the time, once you do this a few times, it should be under 10 minutes. All right. So maybe I should write some rules. Okay. Number 1, do this during the weekends. Number 2, time limit. Okay. Yep. Sure. I've written that. Okay. Now finally, intention. Okay. So what they plan to do, just share what you plan to do. Don't no need to explain like how you're gonna do it. All the details not required. Okay. Just like what you plan to do about it. And the question I would like to ask the universe, so I usually will ask, if I have a situation I want to improve, instead of asking what do I need to do, okay, it's okay, like, what do I need to do to solve this problem? Sometimes I'll ask, like, okay, now I'm looking to achieve something. Now how can I, instead of saying how can I solve this problem, this is me, I'll do it this way, how can I anticipate this problem and prevent it from happening in the first place? How can I be a better listener without how can I be a better listener? Why do I want to do this? It is because I want people to feel understood. It's very easy for us to just listen and give our opinion, but most of the time when people really want to be heard, that's the worst thing that we can do. Okay, so the question I'd like to ask the universe today is, how can I be a better listener? Because I find myself interrupting others a bit too often. So that's one question I can ask the universe. So let's say if I find myself spending a lot of time on a specific task, then I'll say, okay, I'd like to ask the universe, what skills do I need to acquire so I can speed up this specific task? I will not ask the universe, oh, how can I do this thing faster? Because I know it's not a time problem. With more skill, speed will come when you have more skill. So if you find yourself spending a lot of time for something to be done, and other people can do it in a much shorter time, more consistently, and in most cases better than us, then yes, it's a skill problem. Then we'll ask, what skills do I need to acquire? Okay, and how can I be better prepared? Sometimes it's who do I need to be? Sometimes it's not I want that result. Okay, a lot of the times I realized when I was doing accountability session, uh, they ask the question to the universe is how can I get X Y Z? How can I get, let's say they want how can I get $100,000 in my bank account? Okay, so I will help them to slightly reframe the questions, like instead of asking that, how about we ask who do I need to be to see 100,000 in my bank account? Oh, the question I'd like to ask the universe today is how can I provide more value to my clients without working longer hours so I can see 100,000 in my bank account? Because I understand money is nothing more than value creation. The more value I provide to the marketplace, the more I'll be rewarded. So who do I need to be able to provide so much value to my client? Okay, so that is how we will do this accountability sessions. Okay, so now this is the long version of me explaining everything. I didn't just mention what to do. Actually, I covered why are we doing this and how I will do it. The reason why I say this is my recommendation is because in the past where I see uh, so many times when I have different accountability partner, the ones who are not so good at it, they are making some repetitive mistakes. And if I were to be able to give them some recommendations, here's how to improve it. Okay, so if this is new to you, don't worry if you can't do all of this. Don't worry, just show up, do this. As you get better, you'll be able to improve this. This is from someone who has been doing this for more than 6 months, maybe more than 9 months, close to a year maybe. Okay, so of course, what I've been doing it for 1 year non-stop, I will have a better awareness level. But if this is new to you, don't worry if you can't execute the recommendation. Just be true to yourself, ask these few questions, be a very good listener. Okay, then this is something that will help you to be very, very consistent every day. Okay, what are the side effects of doing this? It help you to be very consistent, means you procrastinate less, you spend less time working, because you'll be more effective. You have somebody to hold you accountable. You'll feel a sense of ownership and responsibility in your own work, even if you're a freelancer. Okay, so you get all the benefits of having a boss without the downside of having a boss. You get the benefits of accountability without the downside of all the scolding, all the I hate my boss thing. All if it's something that's the best way I can frame it. Okay, you get all the benefits of having a boss. Yes, there are benefits of having a boss. If you're watching this video, it's like I don't see any benefits of my boss. He's just a total jerk. Believe me, there are. Once you start being a freelancer, it's the only thing you do. You do not have a corporate job. You realize back then when I was working for others, I'm able to accomplish more a day. Despite just having 8 hours. Now I have 12 hours to spend on my business. I'm actually not doing that much. Okay, if you worked in a day job before, this was going to be a very common thing. And one of the reason is not just this reason, but one of the reason is you do not have a boss to constantly just check on you, the progress. So we like to get a lot of work done, but we do not like to be micromanaged. So how do we get the benefits of micromanage? Okay, I find this to work the best. Okay, of course this is not the only way, but it's the way that not only you are being able to be very, very consistent, you're able to help other people. Also, there's a side effect of you'll be a much better communicator, because every day you need to know, you get a very short communication practice. So when you're doing this accountability session, for you to be able to mention all of these 5 things, you need to have an idea. You need to be able to say it in a way that your partner can understand. And when your partner is going through their 5 points, you need to train to be a good listener. Most of us, we can't close high ticket clients. Number one is lack of self-confidence, lack in self-belief. Number two is our communication skill is too underdeveloped compared to our technical skill. Okay, this is very true for most freelancers. So we are killing multiple birds with one stone. Okay, so yeah, so this is, I think this reached the end of the session. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. And if there's anything which you are not very clear, just feel free to direct message me.